Hey gang, Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Quick shout out to Well Dressed Walrus, Curt, Stockwell, Andy Dentone. Thanks gang for the hat. This is always, listen, if you send me some swag, I'll give you a shout out. How about that? Yeah? So today's shout out for swag goes to Well Dressed Walrus. They're a website and design company that also helps you clarify your marketing message. Their story brand certified guide. How about that shout out, Curt? All right, gang. So I want to walk through this particular episode, distinguishing universals versus particulars. Now, I did not come up with this particular phrase. I heard it from Rob Bell in Rob Bell's podcast called The Robcast. And I even think he had a conversation with Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert. And that came up in their conversation as well. They were talking about the difference between universals and particulars. And what I loved about it was universals are when we talk about things in a general sense, right? It's a universal sense. Like we talk about love or we talk about failure or whatever. It's interesting, right? Because a lot of social media, a lot of content marketing is done in the space of universals, right? It's a lot of content marketing is done in the space of inspiration and failure and success. And there's all these grandiose, general, overarching conversations that happen in most people's content. But then Rob went into the distinction of universals and particulars. Particulars are the thing that are specific, right? So it's not just failure, but it's the specifics of failure. It's not just love, it's the specifics of love. And it's in the particulars that we can hear ourselves. It's in the particulars that we actually hear our own story. This is the disconnect for most people's content marketing, is that we speak in universals, and so people can't find themselves in our content. They don't know if your content is for them because it's too general. When your content goes into the particulars, then it actually starts to resonate. The whole trick to content marketing is that it resonates. That's when people know that they've found their tribe. They're like, oh my God, you're my person. And they may have never met you, but because you speak in particulars, they know that you know them. And so they feel connected to you, right? So I want to do an experiment. This is it's an experiment to just read. I'm going to read something to you. Some particulars that I have written about my tribe, right? And not only am I going to read it to you in hopes that it resonates with you, but I'm also going to read it to you to show you that I can actually read something in a Facebook Live and that's fully okay, right? Like that actually works also. Sometimes we put way too much pressure on ourselves to say something direct to camera. And we're like, I don't know what I would say. So what I'm saying to you now is you could actually read something as long as you can generate it, as long as you can read it from a place of not just being like, a robot, but generate something for us and still have it be effective. So I want to walk you through the primary problem that I feel like my tribe wrestles with, right? And then from there, I want to walk you into the painful consequences of that problem that you would experience. Now, I suppose I could try to shoot from the hip and just recreate it for you out of my head, but I'm actually going to read it because I put some time and effort into really articulating the particulars, right? And I don't want to miss any of those for you. So hang with me for a minute. Let me just read this, and I want you to just stay present, right? Don't go squirreling off and scroll through. Don't minimize the window and then keep scrolling through Facebook. I want you to just lean into these particulars for a minute. So here's the primary problem that my tribe tends to face. Ready? You have too many ideas, and you don't know how to condense them all into an organizing principle. This leaves you chasing multiple rabbits and not taking any ground on any of them. You feel you should be so much further in life than you are now. You have seen what's possible, like in your vision. You've seen what you're capable of. You've seen what it is you want to acquire, right? Whether it's possessions or accomplishments or inspired lives, whatever, right? You've seen what's possible. You know you have gifts and potential, but you can't focus. As you look for answers to break through, you get sparked by new ideas, and then you follow that trail for the new idea. Investing in the program or the model until that trail dead ends, right? You can now picture this, right? Like there you are, you're like, I got a new spark, I got a new idea, I read this book, I heard this person, I'm gonna go chase that down. So you go chase that rabbit, you go down the hole, and then you get to this dead end because you don't know how to, you're like, I don't know where this goes, I don't know how to connect it, right? This is, and by the way, this is what you do. This is your pattern. How do I know this? Because it was my pattern, right? It is my pattern. Okay, so here's the deal. You end up with a collection of ideas, but you can't figure out how they all fit together, right? Just imagine you've gone down all these different rabbit trails, chasing multiple rabbits, getting a spark from something. You go down it, you collect a lot of information, you study it, you're diligent, you figure all these things out, but then you get down to the end of the rabbit trail, it's a dead end, and you don't know how it all fits. Now, here's the thing. You know you're close. You know you're close to the thing you've been searching for. You know you're close. And you've been close so many times. You've been close to breaking through so many times. But you cannot connect the dots. That is my tribe's primary problem. Now, can you see how that's distinct? Like those are particulars. Now, a universal, if I had done that in a universal, what I would have said was, my tribe gets lost in all the noise, or my tribe is busy. That's a universal. A particular is what I just described. A particular gets into the life experience of the person, and they go, oh my gosh, like you just described, like Anna, you just said on here, so true. Like that's the thing. When you speak in particulars, people go, oh my God, you have my number. Like somehow you know. Like, have you been following me around with the camera? Like, I feel like you're inside my head. That's what happens when you speak in particulars. And when you do that, the trust gets created because people feel like you understand them. And when trust gets created, people reach out to you because nobody else seems to speak the way you speak. And so they feel like you're the one to help them. Okay, now, let's continue these particulars. So that is my tribe's primary problem. Now let me take that problem and move it into the painful consequences that happen from that problem, okay? So here it is. These are the painful consequences that you may be experiencing if you're in my tribe and you're having that primary problem. Okay, this pattern of following models into a dead end is exhausting. It's exhausting. It messes with your confidence, and it has robbed you of certainty. Here's the thing, without certainty, you now second guess your decisions and reluctantly invest in finding answers. See, because you've been down all the rabbit holes before, and so now you're like, this feels familiar. I've been down these rabbit holes before. I don't know if I should do it again, because you second guess yourself, because you're not certain, right? Hang on, let me just find my place. Reluctant to invest in your business, right? Now you're reluctant to invest in your business because you're not certain, right? You've stagnated your growth. Because you're reluctant to invest in your business, you've now stagnated your growth. Your income is unpredictable and inconsistent, and you have a hard time even feeling productive because anything you do in a day isn't guided by focused direction. Now, how many of you can have experienced that, right? Where you're like, you don't even know what to do in a day. There's so many ideas you've collected. You're like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know that. And if I did stuff today, I don't even know that at the end of the day, I feel productive, right? Okay, let me keep going. You're feeling unproductive. Okay. You have had thoughts like, here's a thought. You've had thoughts like, I wonder if I have what it takes to make the difference I really want to make, or to create the financial freedom and lifestyle I saw for myself when I started this business. At times, you resent your business. The work that used to be fun isn't always fun anymore, because the weight of financial uncertainty and the self-doubt surrounding the work, because of the self-doubt surrounding the work that you do. You see others who started when you started, but they are now further down the road than you are. And this only causes more doubt. You've spent yourself into a hole trying to find answers in courses or contractors, and half the time think about quitting and seeking greener pastures. Now, obviously, this is a worst case scenario, but if you get really honest for a minute, I know that I've been that person. And this is the thing about particulars. When you start to get specific about not only the problems that your people are having, the people you're trying to help, not only getting specific about the problem they have, but then you start to get specific about the painful consequences of that problem. Those particulars are the things that reach through the camera and actually resonate with somebody so that they know that you know where they're at. That is the thing that makes your content not only valuable, but memorable, right? So let's wrap with this. First of all, I would invite you to go back through and listen to this again, in a space where you've quieted your mind and you're just in an environment where you have no distractions, and listen to what I just read to you from the exercise or the work that I've done to uncover the particulars of my tribe and to see if that doesn't resonate with you, right? That is the power of particulars. Now, here's my second invitation. My second invitation is to start to look at how you've been describing the problem of your tribe in your marketing. Have you even been describing a problem, first of all? Or are you just talking about your product and service? Your product and service, absent of the person's problem and pain, has no relevance. It's not that it's not there, but you have to connect the dots for them. And the way you connect the dots is not through universals, but through particulars. So if you've been speaking about a problem in more of a universal way, then my second invitation to you is to begin to unpack that universal into its particulars, right? Start to look at, like, if what you do is, let me see. So I have a client in our agency, a marketing agency, who is a profit coach, right? She has a show with us that we produce called Pursuit of Profit. And the problem that she is helping people with is that most entrepreneurs don't have the profit that they want because they spend money through old patterns and don't know how to protect profit from the get-go, right? So for her to look at the particulars, it's not just the universal of it is like, hey, you don't have enough money, or hey, your spending habits are off, or there's all these like universal ways she could talk about the problem. But in her show that we produce for her, she is able to unpack all the particulars. Like every episode is another particular about the problem, and we get to dive into the painful consequences of that problem in every episode. So you can see that through her content over time, it really starts to have people know that she gets where they're at, which is a very tough thing to do when you're talking about people's money, right? People and their money is a very delicate subject. And so when you are able to resonate with people through your content marketing about their money, as it is with our client, this financial planner / profit coach that is a client of ours, then people actually know that you're speaking to them. So whatever it is that you do, you may not be a profit coach, maybe you're a real estate agent, maybe you sell menswear, maybe you are a massage therapist. We have a massage therapist. There's all sorts of things you could do, but the point is that you start to think about not only the painful problem that your people are experiencing in its particulars, but also the painful consequences that those problems result in their particulars. So, here's what the world needs now in content marketing is not more universals, because I'm tired of seeing everybody regurgitating the same quote. Listen, I'm all about a great quote. I love Rumi quotes. You want to throw me a Rumi quote? Cool. But it doesn't get to the particulars, right? It inspires me for a moment, but it doesn't let me know that you get where I am. A Rumi quote's amazing, but it doesn't let me know that you know where I am. So your content marketing, if you're going to go to the next level and you're going to stay relevant in this ever-evolving day of digital marketing, you're going to have to start to think from a place of what is the problem that my people are experiencing in its particulars, and what are the painful consequences that they're having because of that problem in its particulars. And I'll just tell you from experience, it is an iteration. You don't just sit down for 10 minutes one day and write it out. You keep going. And you may write out today, like I've written out and shared with you in this video. And then you may come back a week later, even a year later, years later, and just keep retooling all the different layers and colors of the problem and the pain that people experience. Okay, that's it today, gang, for this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. If you're interested in what we do as a marketing agency and how we help you kind of articulate and pull out the particulars of people's problems and pain through our marketing agency, you can go to mygroundswell.com, and you can learn more about our agency there. If you have any personal questions, feel free to private message me or just drop comments here in this post, and I'll circle back and interact with you there. Until tomorrow, when we do another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us, have a great night and see ya.